Rapper Travis Scott has officially announced album bundles and a launch performance for his album Utopia taking place at the Pyramids of Giza in Egypt, leading fans to believe that the album Utopia will be dropping that night on July 28th. Welcome back to the Kickback, the show where we break down the hottest topics in music and entertainment. Hopping over to Travis Scott, of course, with the announcement of one of the most highly anticipated albums, folks. I think it's fair to say in at least the last decade. This is going to be the first release from Travis Scott of solo music since the Astroworld album, and specifically since the Astroworld tragedy, which we're going to cover a little bit more later in the show. But first, let's get into some details about this performance at the Pyramids of Giza, because this is obviously going to be an insane performance. Definitely not helping the Illuminati rumors, but surely should be a good show. NME reports that Travis Scott has announced a special launch show and live stream for his upcoming album Utopia. The rapper took to social media on Sunday night to break the news. Per his post, the live stream and show will take place on July 28th at the Pyramids of Giza, and tickets are available now. We got some artwork for this show as well. When you think about it, this show is ultimately going to be cool no matter what Travis actually decides to do. As we can see here, there's no real hint as to a stage setup or what he plans to bring to the pyramids. But based on what we've seen with past artists, there's definitely a lot of potential in terms of a stage setup at the Pyramids of Giza. Here's a photo of the Red Hot Chili Peppers when they delivered their performance at the same venue. Obviously just a fucking phenomenal place to go and see a concert, and really a weird place for Travis Scott to perform. You know, I don't know why it feels so right for Travis Scott to perform at the Pyramids, but it just feels like such a perfect place for his music. He always has this weird, trippy music, just this, it makes me think of aliens. It makes me think of UFOs and unsolved mysteries. So to picture Travis Scott, you know, at the Pyramids, I think is probably the perfect place for him to do it. Now, a few points to go over in regards to this Utopia album rollout. The first thing is that this album launch show has been announced, but technically the release date for Utopia has not been announced yet, with Travis Scott's team even clarifying that, look, we haven't technically announced the album. All we know for now is that the launch show is going to be on the 28th of July at the Pyramids of Giza. Now, this approach is fascinating to me because they're not necessarily committing to an album release date, but they are trying to warm the audience up as to when this album might potentially be coming out. It almost reminds me of a sort of Kanye West type of rollout, what he did with The Life of Pablo, and then what he did leading into Donda. There were many different rumored album release dates for a record like Donda specifically that I remember, and it never ended up really panning out, but the flame for that fire was being fueled, try saying that 3 times fast, by the fact that there were all these events. There was the Donda event at the stadium. Kanye would pop up to do this. He would pop up to do that event. He was playing the new music from this record in a live setting, bringing it to the fans for launch shows, but he hadn't actually released that tangible record yet. I remember people were listening to the leaks that people were literally recording from the nosebleed seats of a 50 to 80,000 seat stadium. I had those leaks from that show loaded to my iTunes, and I was listening to Donda from the shitty iPhone taping of somebody up in the 900 section of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So that is really the only hype that I can put on par with the hype of this Utopia record. Obviously, Travis Scott, a son of Kanye West, creatively, in many, many different ways, right? So it would make sense for there to be that similarity. You know, I've sort of wondered if Travis is waiting too long to drop the record too. You know, the last major thing that we've had with Travis Scott's name on it. And again, I understand he's done singles, and I know he's popped out at different shows. He's done Rolling Loud, and he's done collabs, and I understand that. It's not like Travis has been completely inactive. But the last major thing we remember Travis Scott for is unfortunately the Astroworld tragedy. He was just cleared, guys. As of when I'm taping this, a week or two ago, he was just cleared of criminal charges for that incident. So that incident isn't quite behind him. Part of me questions if he should have released a body of solo music sooner to try to sort of put a band-aid on that and mend it. But the other part of me is wondering maybe if this is perfect timing, because it looks like he just closed out the Astroworld lawsuits. maybe he was potentially going to be found liable, and that could have affected the rollout of this album. That's one of the many things that could have delayed this record, and one of the many things I'm thinking about. Now, the other thing to mention when it comes to this rollout is the fact that tickets are on sale for this Egypt show along with album bundles. Now, these album bundles are set to include CDs, vinyls, but not only that, there are 5 different variations of the cover art for the album, meaning that there's 5 different versions of the vinyl and 5 different versions of the CD. There are 10 versions of these releases. Technically 5 different versions, but accumulatively 10 versions. Here's one of the covers that we're looking at now. I don't think most of the covers have actually been leaked. I think there's only this one and the one with Travis sort of looking up into the light like I think he might have posted. But the reason this is notable, folks, is not because it's cool to have 5 covers. You got to remember, that means a lot of production. That means a lot of money being spent into producing many, many different versions of this CD. So no move like this is just done on a whim. This is a business decision. And the reason this business decision is being made is to sell more album units. Now, if you go back to the Astroworld launch, you will remember that Nicki Minaj was furious at Travis Scott. Now, when Astroworld dropped, I believe it was end of 2017. So the 2 albums that were neck and neck for that number 1 spot were Nicki Minaj Queen and Travis Scott Astroworld. Those were the 2 records that were neck and neck. And they were close. They were really quite close. But the reason that Travis Scott took the number 1 spot in that album cycle is due to the bundles he was doing, because he was selling the Astroworld album with Astroworld merchandise. So you buy the album, and then you get the album sent to you, plus a t-shirt. Some of the bundles had a CD sale and a streaming copy. So one person buys this bundle from Travis Scott, and he's selling multiple albums. Now, and this is the beauty of it, guys. This is actually one of the things I really respect about Travis and his team. With the UTOPIA launch, he's actually approaching this in the same way, but on steroids. So let's take a look at the website now. This is shop.travisscott.com. And when you go to his website here, it says create your own utopia. And when you go down, you are given the option between 5 Utopia bundles. Each one of these bundles features one of the 5 cover arts. So the number 1, cover art number 2, and we're not seeing the cover art yet, by the way. What you're seeing on the clothes is you get a unique piece of clothing with each bundle. These bundles also vary in price. They're going from $50 all the way up to $150, with the most expensive bundles for $150, including a custom printed mailer box, CJ custom hoodie for Utopia, CD with album cover 2. Okay. Now, I do understand that there's vinyl bundles as well. But the reason this is so genius, folks, it's because we know these we know that Travis Scott fans, the most dedicated of dedicated fans, will be buying all of these. I can 100% guarantee there will be people who not only want to cop all 5 versions of the CD cover, but they'll probably want to get all 5 versions of this vinyl as well, plus all of this different merchandise, which is limited and numbered. You know, this is such a smart way of marketing your music and your merchandise, because you need the whole package to be a cohesive artist. You need your own artwork. You need your own branding. You need your own language. You know, Cactus Jack, La Flame. You give all these people these little taglines and things to grab onto, and you make them feel like they're part of their own world, and it's a world that only you've created. And that's what makes these fans so in love and obsessed with these artists, is that they give you your own lingo. They give you your own clothing style, your own art style, your own sound. They create a world for you that you feel that much closer to them because it's just you and them in that world and all their other fans. The rest of the world doesn't get it. You walk up to a civilian on the street, you start talking about Cactus Jack. They don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But that makes you even more connected to that artist that you love and to the fans of that artist that you love. So this is absolute genius tier marketing, folks, when it comes to the release of Utopia. I definitely think that these bundles are going to be selling like crazy. And it seems like a lot of people have forgotten about the Astroworld tragedy. That's ultimately what this seems to be pointing to. I was just reading as well that Travis Scott, and we're going to pull this up, Travis Scott just performed in Italy. And he caused, and guys, I'm not making this up. You can read the article here. His 80,000 fans at the show triggered a mini earthquake in an Italian city. Now, this was not deemed an actual earthquake, like if you were to look at it on a scale by professionals. But the actual wildness of this concert, and we'll take a look at this clip, was enough to make people think there was an earthquake. The thing about rap concerts, by the way, is you would never think it's worth attending a rap concert if you've only seen them on video. Let me just say that, by the way. When you watch a video like that, it literally sounds like a bunch of fucking noise, and it sounds like shit. Definitely not a good show to record. Like, even live rap albums never really worked because it's just not... It's more so about the energy. I'll tell you guys, I've seen Travis Scott live... How many times have I've seen him twice. I got to see La Flame at two very different points in his career. Two pivotal points in his career, I think. I first saw him on the rodeo tour, which was, now correct me if I'm wrong, there may have been a formal rodeo tour before this, but this was not even his tour. This was the Rihanna tour, where he opened up for Rihanna. And his only hit, mainstream at the time, because I didn't know Days Before Rodeo, I didn't know any of that music. His only mainstream hit at the time was Antidote. I remember seeing Travis, and I remember not knowing anything about him, but I remember when I saw it live, and I saw what he was doing, and I saw the energy he had, I was absolutely blown away. I knew this guy was going to be a legend. And again, he was already a legend to many, many people. That's why he was on tour with Rihanna. But I knew this guy was going to be a bigger legend than he became. And even at that show, he said, all the kids, get out of your seats from every section all around, come down to the front, fuck security, jump the barricade, come down. And they had to wait to restore order until after his set. Second time I saw Travis live was Rolling Loud 2018 Miami. This is right before Astroworld dropped. Right before Astroworld dropped. I remember nobody had a goddamn clue what was going to happen in terms of his sound or his new music at that time. Kind of similar to this, because I feel like Travis does that. He'll have you so highly anticipating what he's going to do that you really have no clue what he's going to do. He opened the show with Stargazing, and I was the first part of the first crowd to ever hear that song. So thinking of the times that I've checked in on Travis Scott and that I've seen him, and comparing that to this moment in his career with Utopia, I think he is at an unprecedented moment in his career. This is really, to me, Travis's Twisted Fantasy moment. This really, truly is. This is the moment right here when he drops this album where I think we're going to decide if Travis Scott is a name that we're going to keep carrying into the future of hip-hop and music, or if Travis Scott is going to become a name of somebody who had a moment or had a really good run in hip-hop. You think about Kanye when the Taylor Swift incident happened. If he wouldn't have come out and dropped Twisted Fantasy, that probably would have been it. I mean, I'm not doubting that he would have continued to make music, but There's no way Kanye would be Kanye today after going through that Taylor Swift, that bad press, and not coming back with the greatest album of his career, arguably one of the greatest albums of his career. We can never decide that for Ye. There's too many fucking great albums. But this is, folks, this is the moment that Travis Scott is in. This is Travis Scott's twisted fantasy moment. And I'm not comparing, by the way. I would never compare the tragedies. The fucking tragedies. The Taylor Swift thing wasn't even a tragedy. Nobody cares about that. I would never try to compare that to the Astroworld crowd crush. I just really want to make that clear. That's not my goal. The comparison is in the place of somebody's career where they've gone through potentially a career-ending instance and somehow managed to have good enough music or a strong enough fan base or whatever the case may be to go past that and still retain success. This is a make or break moment for Travis Scott. This is 100% a make or break moment. So I'm curious to know what you guys think, man. Is this going to be for me, this is either going to be the greatest album of his career or an album that's just forgettable. In terms of features, there's been nothing announced yet. I'm really hoping to see a 21 Savage feature. I think 21 Savage is on one of the most legendary feature runs of all time right now. Whatever 21 Savage is doing to write his features needs to be studied. That dude has improved his flow astronomically. It's unbelievable. I'd really like to see a 21 feature. I'm always down for a Future and Travis Scott collab. And Drake. I always want Drake and Travis Scott. I've yet to be disappointed by that collab as well. Let me know what you guys think down below of the Utopia album potentially dropping on July 28th and your expectations for this release. Rapper Drake kicked off his It's All a Blur tour in Chicago this past week with no shortage of surprises for fans. I gotta say, guys, after seeing videos of this tour and videos of this stage, you guys probably remember, if you've watched old episodes of this show, that I've highly, highly encouraged people not to buy tickets to concerts right now. That's been my MO. Do not buy tickets to concerts right now because these people are trying to rip you off. After seeing these videos, guys, I gotta say my tune might be changing just a little bit, because after seeing this, as a fan of Drake, I've come to the conclusion that if you are a fan of his and you can find a way to make it happen, this is probably the tour you want to go see. He kicked off the tour with this scene that you're seeing here with a hologram. Well, okay. People were saying that he kicked off the tour with a hologram version of himself on the stage. After further investigation, and I did a video about this on the channel and on my TikTok, which blew up, this is not a hologram, but what this is a deep fake. So the image you're seeing now, this was being projected over the big screens. The kid on stage next to him is a real kid who actually looks like him. And then what they do is they do a deep fake on his face on the big screens. So when you're far away, you can't see the kid's real face, like in an arena, but you can see the big screens, and it creates the illusion that Drake is sitting next to a younger version of himself. So this is just a little taste of the effects and stuff that he has on the It's All a Blur tour. I think it's crazy. This doesn't even look like a real picture. It's fucking... I would be thoroughly impressed if I went to a concert and I saw that without expecting it. Another thing that went down on this tour is that it appears Drake dissed Childish Gambino. And I guess this is a counter diss. Because as we can see here, Drake claims that This Is America by Childish Gambino is a diss towards him, or was originally. We're going to read along with this here. Oh, sorry, that scared the shit out of me. I played it on full sound in my headphones. You guys couldn't hear it. Let me try that without shitting my pants. This is me reading along to the ticker on the bottom of the screen. It says, the overrated and over-awarded hit song, This Is America, nice camera work with this guy, was originally a Drake diss. Okay, there you go. I'm sorry I read that like I don't know how to read, but it was being displayed on a ticker in front of me. So yeah, Drake, Childish Gambino's This Is America, overrated and over-awarded. Honestly, guys, not a bad take. I gotta be completely honest with you guys. I've always thought the video for This Is America was really, really impressive. But I actually think that song is dog shit. I really don't think that's a good song. Let me rephrase that. I don't like the song. And I don't think the song is of the same quality as even the stuff Drake would put out or even most of the songs you would hear on the radio. I think it's definitely overrated. I don't know. And I want you guys to let me know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe Childish Gambino made one of the best songs in the world and I'm missing the point. I've never liked that song. So I don't think that's bad. Another piece that we have here from the tour is Drake's entrance. Drake walking in through the ticketing area at the United Center in Chicago, right through the crowd of people buying. So picture this, you're high as hell or probably drunk. You're going out to buy a corn dog at the Drake concert, right? And you see fucking Drake walk past you, bro. Let's take a look at this. This is insane. You know, I definitely would not have pictured an artist at Drake's caliber at this level in his career, letting people even that close to him. If you've seen other videos of this entrance segment, he walks in through the entire arena, through the audience like a UFC intro. He literally walks in like that. And, you know, I think it's cool. I think it's really cool to see these guys, you know, him and 21 superstars sort of interacting with the people. This sort of makes me scratch my head about it, though. Drake seen performing with a giant sperm. That is correct. A giant sperm cell up on the stage, floating through the arena. Always classy visuals from Drake in recent years. You know, I think I'm onto this guy. I really do think I'm onto this guy because I understand what he's trying to do. I think at a certain point, it kind of reminds me of when I was in school, okay? I had a hard time in school. I wasn't a bad kid, but I just wasn't interested. So I started getting told I was a bad kid every day and treated like a bad kid, and everybody in the school thought I was a bad kid, so that's the word that got around. And eventually I just said, okay, you want to see a bad kid? I'll show you a bad kid. And I started doing really, really bad shit. I started behaving really badly because people wouldn't stop saying I was bad, almost as a defense mechanism. That, my friends, is exactly what I think Drake is doing. I think his whole career, this dude has dealt with, this guy's soft. This dude's this dude's Jewish, this dude's light-skinned, this dude's from Canada, this dude's this dude's that. He's ba-ba-ba, he's zesty. I think after years and years and years of it, you finally say, you want to see fucking zesty? You want to see a fucking corny? You want to see, I'll show you zesty. I'll show you suspicious. I'll show you corny. To the point where it's so elevated, it's so ridiculous, it's so beyond anything that anybody could concoct that it almost diffuses any other jokes about you. Anybody who hears me talking about being a fan of these guys, any of these guys, do not think I ever excuse or ignore the ridiculous shit that these guys do on a daily basis. What you have to understand is, one, you can love a dude's music and not know him, so what they do doesn't affect you. That's the main thing with me. I don't give a fuck what Drake does. I really, really don't. He could do whatever he wants. It doesn't concern me. I don't know him. I'll probably never will. I don't care. That's the first thing. The second thing you have to realize is that everybody does things for a reason. Especially in this business, man. These dudes, it's not like they're coming up with all these moves on their own. You know, they have whole teams of people paid to come up with the best move for them to make. So you just need to really think about why people are doing things. And that's the funny thing about this. So shout out to Drake for embracing this. I think it's fucking hilarious. And I'm definitely curious to see the It's All a Blur tour. So let me know if you are going to go to the show. If you did go to the show already, early on in the tour. Vancouver, August 28th. I am manifesting it. I will be there. I don't give a fuck what it takes. I want to do media coverage at this show. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me know what you think of the new Drake tour down below in the comments. Hopping over to a quick interview to wrap up today's episode of The Kickback. It was a pleasure to be joined by Chelsea and Craig of the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in southern Alberta to talk about some of their events coming up this summer. Make sure to go check them out at their website. We have the link down below in the description for the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. And make sure to catch up with Alex Raymundo for his #1 tequila event. Of course, an impeccable tequila, which I highly recommend. He's going to be at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino, pouring up shots for people, talking to them, and of course, doing stand-up comedy. So let's jump into this interview right now. Holy smokes. So that's on display there at the casino.
Sure is. You can enter to win this so easily. You just go to guest services, answer a survey, and you can win it. The draw is on October the 6th.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, sign me up because it looks good.
It sure does. Looks even better with Chelsea in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is a good advertisement. This is perfect.
Right?
Wow, that's incredible. That's quite the ride there.
This is, what is it, Chelsea? The car.
It's a 70th anniversary edition. It's 3LT.
Wow. 3LT 70th edition. Yeah. That's insane. I wish I knew more about cars to be able to add to that. I just know it looks nice, so there's not much else to know.
No, we're not used to driving cars like this. We couldn't even figure out how to take the roof off for a couple of days. So.
Still a work in progress. Well, I'm sure that should definitely draw more people in 100%.
Oh, I think so. Free draw. Everyone's coming. 3 months to enter, so lots of time.
That's incredible. Well, I'm sure people will definitely want to take advantage of that, as well as the performances coming up. And I know there's a lot of exciting things coming for the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Of course, we have the Calgary Stampede season right now. I'm just curious about that. Obviously a big time in Calgary. How would you describe Stampede season maybe to somebody who's not familiar?
Well, the Calgary Stampede is a huge event for us. We have like millions of people that come in from all over the world, and they get over like 25,000 visitors a day at the park. And amazing rodeo, chuck wagons. We actually have Kurt Bensmiller as our driver this year for the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. And so we sponsored him to do the chuck wagons this year. And yeah, we actually have they usually have like a bunch of Stampede breakfasts all over the city as well during all of the week. And we actually have a Stampede buffet happening here for $4.99
plus tax
all week. Yeah, so it's already starting to we have bull busting going on right here, like right now. It's sort of like a pre-warm up for the Stampede, I think.
Big charity event, right? Cody Schneider.
Wow, so lots of incredible.
Come in. Yeah. So the place is full, resort's full, and yeah, we got lots going on. So we also have a couple of promotions happening as well, other than the breakfast. I'm just getting in the car too because I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah, take a ride. Let's go. Oh, I think we might have lost our video.
I think we did.
There we go. Perfect. So maybe talk to me about wearing those different hats, because obviously you guys are more than just a casino. You guys are very much involved in the music space and the event space, especially all across Calgary. What's it like wearing those different hats and sort of managing like a multifaceted resort and casino?
Well, it's lots of fun. It's never a dull moment.
There we go.
We're always here, making sure everyone's getting taken care of and having a good time. And, we really try to give great service and product here. It's a one-stop shop for entertainment. That's really what we need people to understand. And when they come down, it's you can spend an evening here. And we have some great promotions coming up with number one.
That's right.
Tequila. 3 different types. We got the Blanco, the Reposado, and the Extra Anejo. Just launched that last night. And we're lucky enough to have Alex Raymundo coming on the 14th and the 15th of the month to do a couple of comedy sets and promote his brand, because he owns a brand. So, it's great. He's going to be here and stampeding with us. and a couple of, like I said, a couple of comedy sets on the 14th and 15th prior to the band happening at Stage Bar. So, and that's all free. And we're really just looking forward to that happening, and people just walking by wondering what the hell we're doing in the car. So
That's okay. It's you guys are attracting attention here. This is the promo we need. I'm curious about that. Of course, Alex Raymondo and Ron White, incredible with the #1 tequila. How do you guys go about finding the brands that you want to bring in, and the entrepreneurs and people that you want to partner with?
Well, we have in the business who bring product to us, show us event. We have a guy, his name's Gary. I won't give you his last name, but he's I know that you're familiar with Gary, and
That's
he
right.
brings really good opportunities. He represents some of the coolest people in the business who own their own alcohol and liquor brands. So yeah, and this is just one of those opportunities. We actually have, because the owners are actually coming. It's just such a terrific opportunity for us to be able to promote that brand and add a little bit of celebrity to what we offer here at Grey Eagle Casino. And we are actually the #1 casino in Southern Alberta.
So I've heard.
So I couldn't resist.
Yeah.
Had to throw it in. And, we mentioned the live music aspect as well. Of course, you guys have the Stage Bar events. #1 is going to be involved with that. But, of course, you guys have live entertainment Fridays and Saturdays starting at 9:30. Maybe talk to us about the artists that we can see on that lineup.
Yeah, that's now you're going to test my memory.
Well, we just recently had Foxworthy. They're a country band that they're 2 female artists that are really going to make it far, I think. They came here on New Year's Eve, and the place was like packed, and they put on a really good show. They actually are playing at the Bull Busting event as well. Also, we've had numerous like blues bands here, anything from like classic rock to top 40. We have it pretty much play everything at the Stage Bar, and it's free.
And it's the only place in town you can smoke, drink, and gamble.
There you go. Yeah, for all for free. That's a good header there. So, I mean, is this a lot of local artists, or is this mostly people maybe that aren't necessarily from Calgary?
They're all local artists, so we definitely support the local bands in Calgary here.
Yeah, it's one of the places to come and see quality bands. Friday, Saturday nights, it's normally a good party down at Stage Bar, so you can guarantee you're going to have a good time here at the Grey Eagle on Fridays and Saturdays, and any other day of the week too. So
yes,
yeah, and you can enter to win this amazing car. So what more do you need?
What more do you need, right? In terms of the events that you both have worked, maybe if you could talk about some of the highlights in terms of maybe performances or maybe events that have gone on at the Grey Eagle.
What's some of the best concerts you've seen? Because we have our event center too, right? So
at the event center, it seats about 2,500 people. We've had acts like Diana Ross. We've had Ron White here. We had Lynyrd Skynyrd. We actually have ZZ Top coming.
Nice.
And name on the show,
ZZ Top is coming. We've had like lots of great acts and just more to come.
Yeah, we've had the Cult, we've had Megadeth.
Oh yeah, Megadeth.
Crazy, all kinds. We have entertainment for actually some all age group type stuff up to the heaviest metal you can think of. So you never know what you're going to find here. There's always a different crowd here. So no matter who you are, you're always going to fit in. I think on a concert night, you never know what's going to be here. We've had the Beach Boys even.
Nice.
So that was cool. Yeah, to see them, and they're what in their 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And so we got
Still
some
going
bands
strong.
like that.
Yeah, we also do comedy acts like Whitney Cummings have been here, and Bert Kaiser. Yeah, and
the Machine. I remember him.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So tons of stuff happening. And we can always try your luck on the gaming floor.
That's true. What would you say would be the best game for a beginner who maybe has never ventured out to the gaming floor?
Blackjack.
Blackjack.
If you know how to
Okay.
count to 21, right? I think you should be good.
Pretty basic rules for that one. Very nice. Now, in terms of number one, which you guys mentioned, I have heard rumblings about a potential number one casino in southern Alberta. I don't know if there's anything you could let me know about that.
Well, that would be us.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I think repeatedly, month over month, we're, one of the busiest in the province. And, just based on our resort-like feeling, we have something here for everybody. There's, we have a hotel, we have an entertainment center, and of course the casino. And, when you come to the casino, it's a very vibrant environment. And, the staff are very proud to work here. We're on the Sioux Nation, and the beautiful view right out the front door over the Sierra that you look over to the mountains. And it's just a great spot in southern Calgary, southwest, I guess. Southwest.
Yeah, southwest.
Yeah. 100%. So, of course, Alex Raymundo will be appearing on July 14th and 15th at the Grey Eagle. What can people expect for the number one tequila event? I know you mentioned that there's going to be some stand-up. What else can people expect to see?
Well, you're going to see him, obviously.
Yep.
He'll be here, and he'll be introducing his tequila brand, to the audience and throughout the casino, I think, through that couple of days. So we're going to have some great tasty cocktails that he's designed himself,
Nice.
that we'll be promoting and offering on those days. And I'm really excited to hear and get feedback from the customers on the product that we're going to carry. It's a bit higher end, so I think people will really appreciate the value that we offer with that too. And
the product is great.
He'll pump it up. So the product's really great, we hear, and he'll just keep everybody, I think, engaged.
No question about that.
Alex, he doesn't stampede too much. Hopefully he makes it to the station.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. No question. Alex Raymundo is going to be appearing at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino on July 14th and 15th. We want everybody to check him out. Of course, promoting number one tequila, and you guys can get all the information at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.ca. Craig and Chelsea, I thank you for your time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Good luck to everyone.
Huge shout out to Chelsea and Craig from the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino in southern Alberta. Make sure to go check in with them with the links in our description down below. And of course, make sure to enter that raffle for the vehicle if you are in the area. That car looks so nice. I know I want to enter. I want to win. Hopefully there's an extra spot on the ballot. I appreciate you guys checking into this brand new episode of The Kickback. Really, really happy with the way the show is going. I'm putting a lot of work into it. And like I say, we are just getting started with this show. This is only episode number 12, meaning that by the time this show gets to episode 30, 40, 50, things are going to be looking insane. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to continue supporting everything I do. I put a lot of man hours into producing content 100% free every single day. And all I ask in return is that you guys hit that like button, send this to a friend, and hit that subscribe button. That's literally all I ask. I will continue to make you guys daily free content. If you just do that small move to support an up-and-coming creator, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning into this brand new episode of The Kickback. We'll catch you guys next week.